Hello, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your lovely, sexy, beautiful video game ideas and turn them into hot, stinky garbage that's going to premiere at E3 this week. Hello, I am one of your hosts, Blake.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm your other host, AJ Hart, and it's E3 week, which of course means that we don't have to make games, Blake. Today we get to report on games.
Oh, this is
we'll
the
make
one.
some games later on, but this will be our E3 showcase. Yeah.
Okay. So E3 showcase. Well, first off, I don't want to hear about your favorite game that you saw. Everybody's talking about, like, okay, oh, look at this great game that I saw. Look at fucking Stalker. Look at Starfield finally made an appearance 4 years down the line. Didn't get any updates on Skyrim. We got that sweet Sea of Thieves update. I want to hear what you're most upset about.
Somebody wasn't paying attention because we did get an update on Skyrim, and it's its 10th anniversary, and it is being optimized for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Do your due
I don't
diligence.
give. Actually, you know what? Here's the thing. I know there are like a bazillion people that are super excited about it. How do you optimize it? Like, what do you do to optimize it for the new stuff? It's like, do you just turn up the textures?
More frames.
What? I don't know, man.
It's the only thing gamers care about now, baby, is more frames.
You gotta let a game die at some point. I don't know, like, just focus. The money and time spent on making Skyrim updated again 10 years down the line could have been time they put towards, I don't know, an update on Fallout 3, an update on New Vegas. No. Why fucking they know people will buy it. But whatever. I was talking about Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls game. I'm realizing it's Elder Scrolls as a series. Skyrim was just that one in the series. Yeah. But
no, we're not getting another Elder Scrolls for another decade. Let's get that out of the way. Other thing I want to get out of the way is we were recording this on Sunday, which is after the Bethesda and Xbox showcase and after the Square Enix showcase.
Yeah.
There are still, and also the Ubisoft showcase. There is still more to come that Blake and I will not be reporting on. The only one that I think him or I care about is the Nintendo showcase, which will be dropping the day we release this episode.
Oh, dude. Predictions. Predictions. What do you think's going to drop at Nintendo? I think they're going to give Breath of the Wild 2. I think it's going to drop.
They're going to finally showcase Breath of the Wild 2. They're going to showcase a little bit more of Pokemon Arceus. I don't think Pokemon Arceus is going to look good. Something in my bones tells me that it's going to look rough.
Are you talking?
And that's in a friendly way. As friendly as possible.
What does Arceus
it's going to look rough.
What does Arceus stand for?
Arceus is the name of the Pokemon. God, you can't show your ass like this on a gaming podcast, Blake.
I thought you were saying RCS, not Arceus. Okay, I know what Pokemon you're talking about now. Do you think they're gonna...
Oh yeah? Describe it to me.
Arceus, it's like it's like the gray Pokemon with red eyes and has a golden ring around its head.
All right, you passed the test. You can come in. Hey, Blake, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey,
you know what? I thought we were in really rough negotiations there.
A big old fuck you, man. Like I know my Pokemon up to Diamond and Pearl. That's about it. And I think they were in Diamond and Pearl. I mean, I did play Sword and Shield. I didn't like it, but like I beat it. Didn't like Sword and Shield. Diamond and Pearl was my fucking shit. And you know why it was my fucking shit? You had the fashion.
Best starters.
Turtwig was pretty cool. I liked him. I don't know.
And so was Chimchar, and so was Piplup. They're all three of them are the choice.
I think Bulbasaur's still like I don't know. I think Gen 1's still pretty fucking cool. I don't know. It depends. I think I like different gens for like different reasons. I don't think I've ever fallen in love with the entire set.
What are the other reasons you liked Pokemon Diamond and Pearl?
Because the fashion shows and the mining mini game where you can just like, oh man, I need a Thunderstone, but I don't want to spend the 100,000 yen to get it. That's probably not how much it costs, but like it's some absurd amount of money to get a stone to level up whatever. And I'm like, oh,
but you could also get like fossils down there, like Aerodactyl,
and you can turn it into sweet fucking Pokemon. How cool is that? Why did they stop that? Why did they? Why'd
they get rid of the mini game?
You're telling me that our rival from Sword and Shield would not do a fashion show where they're loud as fuck, like just walking onto stage, decking out their little sheep buddy in crazy fun, loud ass outfits? Are you shitting me? That would be perfect. But no, they dropped it.
Why did they get rid of the fashion shows? That's so, man.
I don't
Well,
know.
they're going to be back in the remake we get. Blake, let's talk about E3. What at E3 did you take a shine to?
My favorite things at E3, we finally got a trailer for Red War. It's not called Red War. It's Red Horizon or Horizon Red or whatever. It's the one where it's like Fallout, but in fucking Russia during the USSR period. And like there's like crazy robots. It looks stunning. It looks so good. I'm so fucking excited about that. And then we're also going to be getting Devolver, I think, is not my favorite developer, but definitely my second. I think my favorite developer is Remedy.
Well, Devolver's a publisher, isn't it?
They've also developed their own games. Enter the Gungeon is a Devolver original, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha.
Enter the Gungeon. But Devolver launched the fucking greatest thing. I guess I stand corrected. Enter the Gungeon was developed by Dodge Roll. I guess they are just a publisher. Okay, they're one of my favorite publishers. Let me amend that. But fucking dude, the trailer for Wizard with a Gun, it's just Don't Starve, but you're a bunch of wizards and you all have guns.
Don't Starve.
And
that's something that they maybe could have also added to the name, but I don't know that Don't Starve with a Gun is quite as good of a title as Wizard with a Gun.
You know, when I saw that trailer though, I was like immediately like I had to check myself because I know I just like during E3 I tend to just react to things, and that's where I post my shit on social media or I text my friends or whatever. And I was about to text the Spiritual Successor Discord being like, oh, fuck, this game, it looks so much like Don't Starve, like the little square plots of land and like just the art style where it's bold outer lines and stuff. And I was like, wait, am I going to send this message and just find out it is the same people who made that game? Is it like either not the publisher, but no, it's not. The SUCC.
It's a different developer that said, hey, Don't Starve is a fine game, but I bet you it would be a way better game if it had a gun in it.
Fucking guns? Clay is the people who did Don't Starve. But like I just got obsessed because like the fucking original song that they have playing in the background, it's just like
the
that
music slaps, the art style slaps. It looks like a blast.
Cowboy wizards need to be a thing. Cowboy wizards that can like cast spells on their bullets. That's so fuck. Why isn't Western fantasy a higher like a more common thing? That fucking upsets me. All right, but enough about me. AJ, what were some things that stood out to you?
Of course, the Elden Ring stood out to me because that's the game
I totally forgot.
I'm recently a FromSoft fan, and by recently I mean I finished Sekiro today and have discovered that FromSoft has now made two great games, and that is Armored Core 4 and Sekiro, and that's really about the only games that they've made that are worth playing. But Elden Ring looks like a lot of fun now that I'm a FromSoft fan.
What are you talking about? Play Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 on your Switch.
Nah.
Like those controls, they're built
on my
for
Switch. You know what? Now, if it's on my Switch, that may just change my mind about it.
Wait, you and I haven't talked about this on the podcast. Please inform everybody your mentality when it comes to like playing.
No, I don't think I need to. I think that it's a universal constant that the second a game is on a Switch, it just seems more approachable and more enjoyable. Like,
that's
incorrect. Will sleep on a game, but then if someone's like, yeah, but you can play it on your Switch, I'm like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Like, I slept on Hotline Miami for years.
Yeah.
And then there was like, you can get it on your Switch. And I was like, may as well.
No, I totally feel
I slept on Hollow Knight for years. And then it was like, you can play it on your Switch. And I was like, oh, well, if it's on the Switch, I may as well.
Yeah, there are just some games that are like way better when you can take it in sips. You know, like I can't imagine playing like I'm going through Catherine or trying to go through Catherine. My Switch is being a little bit weird right now. I played that originally on my console, and I remember enjoying it a lot, but now that I'm thinking about it, like so much of that game was just like doing little like puzzle like climbing challenges, and then you get a little bit of sweet like, you know, visual novel stuff in between. And I'm like, God, do I want to play that on my console? Because then it's like I can't do anything else. Like, but being able to have my Switch and be like, oh man, sometimes I feel like playing in the living room. Sometimes I feel like playing in my bed. And just like it makes the game way more approachable. And the similar thing happened to me for Enter the Gungeon. Because like I would play Enter the Gungeon on my PC, and it just felt like such a bigger thing than it needed to be. And then I played it on my
Yeah.
and then I played it on my Switch. It's like, oh, this is way more engaging because I could pick it up and
owned
go.
Moonlighter and Celeste both for years, both of them, and I never touched them on my computer. And then I bought them for the Switch, and I crushed them both immediately.
Jesus.
It's just something about the Switch that makes games good to play.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe Dark Souls on Switch. Another game that tickled my fancy, not because I'm gonna play it by any means. But Sea of Thieves has a new event on the way called Life of a Pirate or something like that.
The Pirate's Life is for me.
A Pirate's Life. Yes. Where Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean is going to be in Sea of Thieves,
AJ,
which is very good.
it was only a matter of time because like, well, no, think about it. Like I think two of the biggest like MMO games right now that are like not like cult fans like Rust, because Rust is still fucking huge, but it's a cult following versus like I'm talking like games like Fortnite.
Sea of Thieves is a sleeper hit, like for sure. That is a game that I don't think enough people are talking about, but I think a lot of people play it.
No, okay, maybe that. I don't know. I think like there are a lot of channels dedicated to Sea of Thieves content. Because like there is just an inherent cinematicness in that game of like I've seen Let's Plays where they're like, I'm gonna see how long I can hide on another person's boat and be a stowaway, and it's like
that's a pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow type.
Yeah,
shit.
it's very funny, but then you also have these highly edited with like 70s style, like just rock music.
Do you watch Sea of Thieves AMVs?
You fucking bet, dude. They're fun as hell. Like, dude, no, like, I have to show you one of these days because there's this guy where all he
you absolutely do.
Yeah, there's this guy that basically goes onto different like MMO games, and all he does is like do these highly edited, highly polished videos where every single one of his videos is a heist movie, where he's like talking about his plan of like, there's this tower over there where they just have all their goodies.
What is the name of this channel?
I honestly do not have I don't remember the name because I've watched so much of their videos that it just comes up on recommended, and I'm like, all of their thumbnails look the same, so I'm like, oh, I know what I'm gonna get out of that. I'm totally blanking. It's like something shot 3 or something. I'll share it with you, but God, his videos are so good. I think with Sea of Thieves, I think this might open the door to hopefully more brand integrations. I don't know how much pirate brand integrations
I would
you
love
can get.
more brand integrations with Sea of Thieves. I want weird games that are games as a service that no one thinks about to get like wild, neat branding opportunities.
But like no,
did you see that Fall Guys is getting a Nier Automata crossover?
That totally makes sense. All the robots from Nier Automata look like Fall Guys.
See, it's not a robot that's getting put in. It's 2B.
Is it just a Fall Guy in 2B's outfit with the little
It is a Fall Guy in 2B's outfit. See, here's one
that's
problem,
so fucking funny.
Well, I haven't seen the 3D scan yet, so maybe I could be wrong. So, Blake, I'm going to let you in on a little piece of gaming news that you will love.
Uh-huh.
As you know from your brief experience with 2B, one of the key defining character traits for 2B is that she's got a dump truck booty.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Are you saying?
Now, there's a crossover with Final Fantasy XIV, the hit MMO video game, right?
Uh-huh.
And in that game, you can get a gear set to make you be able to dress up like 2B. But Yoko Taro and those affiliated sat down with whoever's in charge of Final Fantasy XIV and said, look, if we're doing this crossover and you're going to be able to dress up as 2B, y'all got to, thicken up those hams. And people are like, what the fuck are you talking about, guy who's in charge of Nier Automata crossover? And he said, look, here's how it's going to go. This armor set, if you put on the legs, it makes the character's butt bigger. And this is a reality that is in the MMO, Blake. I need you to realize that I'm not. This isn't a bit.
No,
the actual MMO has a pair of pants that makes your character's butt bigger.
So fuck yeah, dude, bigger butts. I'm all for that. Two things, because you just opened a can of worms that I'm super excited to get into. Because one, You left out a very, very specific thing that the game also does, but I'll get back to that in a moment. So, are you implying that if you take the outfit, we're gonna get Fall Guys, but they just got a booty? They just got a fucking booty on them.
It's possible. I've not seen a 3D scan of the Fall Guys 2B outfit yet, but it is possible that when it comes out, the 2B outfit will give the beans a dump truck booty.
It's gonna give the
just a real Pixar mom type shit.
It's gonna fucking give him some hams. Okay.
All right. Look. Okay. We've been talking about E3, but I have not gotten to the highest point and the lowest point of E3 2021 for me personally. Would you like to hear them, and which one would you like first?
I would like to save like the peak highlight for the end. Like let's build up to it.
So the epic low of E3 2021 is the fact that Babylon's Fall, the video game that is being developed by Platinum Games, looks worse now.
Oh no.
I don't know what happened between this trailer that we got today and the trailer we got like 2 years ago, but it is just a worse looking game now.
Let me look at some images real quick. I don't remember anything about this game.
So what this is it's going to be a 4-person action game by Platinum Games, which is the studio that did Nier Automata. They did Astral Chain, and they did Bayonetta. So, like, this is a solid action game company.
Yeah.
But this game's going to be 4-player, which initially I was hella hyped about. The idea of having a game where, like, Platinum Games just kind of onloads all of their tools and all of their toys and just lets the players go have a field day sounds like a blast. And the first trailer we saw, the combat looked clean and fun, and like a lot of good stuff was coming out of that. It also looked beautiful. The trailer we got today, the combat looks way worse. Partially because the combat just looks way messier because there's like a million more particle effects.
Yeah,
more concerningly, I know exactly why the combat looks bad.
Why? Is it just
the enemies don't react to the players being hit? If you watch the combat trailer, like the trailer we got today and all the combat, the enemies don't like move or stumble or react to the blows that the players give them. They just sort of take the hit and then continue their own combat animations.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this game because it looks very FromSofty, but it also looks like melted Play-Doh. I'm looking at like
it doesn't look good. It doesn't.
Part of me it looks like they're trying to go for this paint like style look, but it makes it just look like there's a bunch of compression artifacts going on it. I don't know if I'm a fan of this, or I'm not a fan of the execution.
It's a game I'm only interested in because of the developer, if I'm being honest. If you have some time, though, check out the 2020 trailer for Babylon's Fall, because that is a game that looks dope as hell.
Well, you know, I look at this game the same way I look at like something like Remnant from the Ashes, of like, I would not buy that game out of the gate, but like if me and a couple buddies want to get together when it's like $10 and we just burn through that game together, I'm like, okay, I could do that. I would do that.
See,
this is not a game.
That's the other thing that's weird about this game. It's a game as a service.
How? Like, you have to just...
So my understanding is that I assume there will be like gear that you can unlock through a season pass, and they will over time add new levels and things, you know, like a Godfall or a Destiny.
Okay.
But it's this.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. Again, it's a game I'm only interested in because I trust Platinum Games with action games.
Yeah. But they also made Vanquish, which was a fun game, but also like a bad game.
Yeah, but that was before they made Bayonetta and fixed their shit.
That's before
they made Bayonetta 2,
found their formula.
And then they made Nier Automata, and then they made the incredible Astral Chain, a game that doesn't get enough love.
I thought that game petered out for you towards the end of it, though. Like,
I probably did, but I think the gimmick of it was still so good that it was probably worth it. Also, it was really fun. There's a lot of fun little like detective cop work that you get to do in the game.
You get to be a teen cop. It's pretty fun.
You get to solve mysteries. Like, there's somebody that's like dead in the middle of the like town, and you're like, all right, time to investigate who done it. And you have to like find evidence and shit, or like there'll be like some property damage, and you have to like examine a bunch of cameras and find out why like the cameras were turned off. And there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's like
it's a very fun little puzzler adventure.
Yeah. God,
And having a dual stick combat game where like you had a second stick that was controlling a second little body was good. Man, Astral Chain is a good game for the Switch. People should play it.
God, actually, okay. Can I give you one more game before you give your
About
big game?
E3 before I give that Epic Hive E3?
Mine's really quick. I just want to say the animation for the Metal Slug Tactics trailer, fucking so cool and 90s and awesome. I'm so fucking happy to get more Metal Slug. It's a tactics game. It's not like the Metal Slug we grew up with that I would eat cheap pizza after a baseball game like as a kid, and I would just play. I'd play that and Bubble Blast Ultra with like the two dragons. Like, there's so much, like, I was never good at Metal Slug, but there's so much nostalgia in Metal Slug for me, you know? And God, I'm so fucking excited. It's just like, it's so cool. And also, the fucking just like the animation here just makes me so fucking pumped to play the game. But all right, but go ahead. Tell what's the big game you want to talk about?
The epic high of E3 2021, Blake Rhea, is this image that I'm dropping to you right now.
Okay, on what, Discord?
On Discord.
Okay, send it my way. I'm ready to react to it. Ready to describe it.
My internet is very bad. While it's uploading, let me describe it. This is the 3 main characters for the Final Fantasy prequel game that is coming out. It is an action RPG set as a prequel to the original very first Final Fantasy video game.
Wait, didn't they announce this for like a while ago? Is this like the first like actual physical image we have of it?
They released a full trailer of it. And I don't know if this was rumored or speculated or what, but there has been talks about it before. And the 3 heroes of it look incredible.
Okay.
Specifically, the main character, whose name is simply Jake.
Jake?
Look at this man and tell me he's not just a dude named Jake.
He looks like grown up Nero.
He's just a dude in a fucking t-shirt. To his left, he has an 8-foot tall, tough as nails, prickly armored dude bro. To his right, he has a roguish twink, but he is just a guy named Jake.
He has just Jake and has a big sword and half-finger gloves.
And I think he's wearing jeans and boots. He's just a fucking guy.
Oh my fucking God. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know, like,
this is the best thing to come out of any JRPG, any video game ever, period. It's just a dude. How's it going? I'm on my way to kill Chaos, evil incarnate, the embodiment of all that is wild and crazy in the universe. My name is Jake, and I'm just a dude that got picked up from a Walmart.
He's just it's just a guy that got isekai into Final Fantasy. just some random dude from our world. Like right after getting like out of an MMA fight or something. He's like just gets summoned to our world. Or to their world. Oh my God, what the fuck is this image? Oh my God, you got to share this on the Spiritual Successor Twitter. Just like
we love Jake. I will kill for Jake. Jake is the greatest JRPG protagonist to ever exist because he's just some guy. like I am so, normally I see just some white dude on the cover of a video game and roll my eyes, but for some reason putting him in just a normal t-shirt and putting him next to 2 actual JRPG characters makes him the funniest thing in the world.
He just fucking stands out so harshly. It's so good.
It's such a good image.
You know, I wonder I think the reason this might be, just to try and figure out why the fuck this is happening, I wonder if this is like the first level where this guy just gets sucked into this magical world. Not like isekai style, but like stuck into the story, you know what I mean? He's like maybe just a regular ass dude.
A lot of things. It could be like the placeholder gear, because during the trailer, like he has like a couple different outfits that he swaps to and into and out of. Well, like you don't watch him change, but like you can see that the character model is wearing different gear. So there's probably an actual gear system to the game, but that doesn't change what he's wearing in all of the ad stuff.
Hey, is this real quick question? So this is a sequel, a prequel to Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, it is being called Final Fantasy. No, not 14. I believe it is a prequel to all Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, period.
Okay, the character on the left reminds me of the one lady with the pink hair, and she had like that sweet curvy sword. Was that Final Fantasy 12? Final Fantasy 11? Was it? I'm trying to remember her name.
Pink hair with girl with the swirly sword?
Tessie. Pink hair. That's all I have to go on. Lightning, but spelled differently.
Oh,
yeah.
You're just saying that because he's a handsome person with pink hair, though.
No, like the lip shading is the same. It's just the hair is shorter. They both have like the tuft going in the same direction. Like there is a similarity here. I'm not just saying that because it's just a pretty person with pink hair.
It's probably nothing. Although, who knows? There's all sorts of theories about
Bro,
this.
we're dealing with a main character dressed in t-shirt and Doc Martens. Anything can happen in this game.
He also has a very big sword, so you know he's a video game
character.
Yeah,
you know he's a lead for a video game character. For a video game. All right, that's E3. We spent half the podcast talking about E3. Well, our E3 episode is a little bit like weird because
you know what? There's more of just like a to come because next week we will still be having E3 going on. Well, E3 will have hit for us, so we'll have more to talk about.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Hopefully you could cut that down into something bite-sized and funny. But who knows? I had a good time talking about E3. We make a lot of episodes. Sometimes we gotta.
It's video game Christmas. And I have a platform, and I'm gonna dump all my E3 thoughts.
Wait, you consider E3 video game Christmas? I feel like we don't get
Christmas
anything.
Is video game Christmas.
I feel like it's like the lead up. I feel like E3 is like video game Thanksgiving because it's like, oh, now I know that game is one step closer to getting to me, but I still don't have that game.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just like video game halftime, I guess.
I think it's a little bit more like video game St. Patrick's Day because it's like we're all hyped as hell, but then when we remember the repercussions of the fact that what this time is, we will just be sitting around suffering and waiting.
Oh,
and we'll have video game hangovers.
Just constantly rethinking about the good moments you had when it was going on, and just like, helping.
And also the brain hurty from all the fact that we don't get any of this stuff. Like, cool, Guardians of the Galaxy. That game looks so
fucking cool, dude. I'm
I
so
have to
excited.
Wait like 3 or 4 months. I don't know how long it is till October. But I gotta wait so long before I can get a hold of it.
Oh, boo-hoo, dude. People are gonna be waiting another 5 years for Skyrim 2. Like,
yeah, stop waiting for Skyrim 2, dorks. Bethesda's not good at making video games. Fucking
trust their the developers under them. Moreover, like,
yeah,
just trust Doom and Wolfenstein. That's
publisher.
all you need.
Or Prey or Dishonored.
Oh, that's right. Arcane is you're right. Deathloop. Well, let's play Deathloop. I don't know. I for some reason
Deathloop is hopefully going to be good.
I have a strong feeling it's going to be good. Like, Arcane doesn't let me down. Here's the thing. I don't know if the core narrative is going to be super, like, enthralling, because
But it'll be a fun immersive sim.
It's going to be
fun to play.
It's going to be so absolutely fun to play, and there are going to be moments in it that genuinely, I'm sure, are going to move me. Because I'm sure there's going to be little storytelling going on, because that's how all the Arcane games are. Like, fuck, you and I
have one major fear about Deathloop.
What?
What if it's not fun in the way that, because like one of the core things about the game during the ad campaign has been like, oh, there's a second protagonist named, I don't remember her name, but she shows up and kills you and she's a player character.
Yeah.
What if this is going to feel like when you're invaded by people in Dark Souls and you know that somebody out there in the world...
Where did you hear that she's a player character?
That's been what they've told people in like behind closed doors gameplay sessions and things like that. Oh. The hunter girl is a player character. another player will be invading your game and hunting you down and killing you.
That doesn't make sense because
is the fact that it will be like the Dark Souls invasions, where you were invaded by somebody who in the world is consciously making the decision to make life hell for another human being for no fucking reason. Hey, anybody out there, if you're listening, if you play Dark Souls games and you invade people and you just wake up in the morning and choose violence and you choose to invade people's games and cause them pain and suffering and you get nothing? You get fictional fake video game dollars? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, no, are you sure that's a thing? Because in my opinion, that sounds fucking game breaking. And here's why. If you get so they said a certain sequence of events need to happen for you to successfully do a run of this game. There is only one way to beat this game, which I think is great. But
I don't think that's great. That sucks.
No, I think that's awesome. There's a million ways to accomplish those tasks, but you need to do kills in a specific order. So there's a numerous amount of ways to do those kills. It's just
the one goal is to get all 8 people dead.
Yes.
So long as I have like a million ways I could do that, I'm fine with it.
Yes.
I just don't want a game that the way you made it sound was like there's one singular way that you
are
supposed to do it. And that would stink.
There's a certain set of path of like you need to find out everybody's like daily routine, and then and once you find that out, it's connecting the pieces and trying to put them in the right places in the right time.
Yeah, but
so
if you're invaded, you're gonna have your shit ruined. And you're never gonna be able to
what
get
if
it
a
done.
person fucking avoids you? Like if you're invaded, like that's telling me
no, the killer. So there are 2 main characters of this story. There's the guy and the girl.
Yes.
The guy is out there trying to kill all 8 people. The girl is out there to ruin your shit.
The girl is one of the 8 people. She's one of the people that needs to die before the day is over. So if you get invaded by a player that doesn't want you fucking killing them, they can just ruin your run right then and there. And that sounds not fun. That sounds actually game breaking to me of like, wow, I just played this game and it just turns out I got the shit end of the stick and this one person just wanted to be a fucking dick to me. But then again,
Deathloop, a video game that fills me with dread. I hope it's good. I hope there's a way to turn off online features.
But then again, honestly, that might not be as big of a problem as I think it is, because this is a game meant to be played over and over and over again. So actually going through a successful run probably can't take more than like maybe an hour and a half, right? Like, like how long does it take to get through a run of Hades? Only like 45 minutes, right?
Yeah,
something
about
like,
30 minutes.
So I'm assuming it would have to be something similar, or at least along those lines. I remember
we'll find out whenever that game comes out.
Yeah, and I think there's gonna be some great shit in it that's gonna really, I think, is gonna be super fucking awesome and super fucking fun. It's Arcane. Like, have they made like the greatest
I trust
games?
them a billion times better than I trust Bethesda.
That's fair. Okay. So that's the first half of the podcast. AJ, what the fuck do we do here? What do we do here? Yeah, what do we do other than
like
talking
normally?
Yeah, like we're game developers, right? We make games. We
talk about fictional characters we have crushes on. We bully each other for their video game opinions.
Nah, you just can't accept the truth.
We make video
don't
games.
Sugarcoat
We make
that.
bad video games submitted from our audience. That's the one. That's the thing that we do here.
Okay. Do you have a special E3 themed video game to give us?
I don't think it's E3 related, but I do have a video game submission.
Oh, I mean, like, this is a game that would display at our E3 conference tomorrow,
right?
Like on Tuesday.
This comes...
this is like this is what they're playing
now it's
before
time
the
for
panel.
our showcase.
Yeah,
our pre-show is us just ragging on the rest of E3 because they don't do it like we do.
Yeah, no.
How's it going, everybody? Yeah, let me go ahead and start up the spiritual successor showcase.
Okay. What sweet, what dumb little merch item did we give them before the merch show? You know, like how I'll wait till you're done.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Successors E3 Showcase. Today, we have a number of video games. Probably 3 that our hosts will talk about today.
Probably 3.
And
we're not sure if we want to talk about any more than that. If you're good, you get another game.
If you all behave yourselves, they will do another.
If none of you are toxic gamers, we will give you a 4th game. suckers. We
If
know
you
there's
listen
toxic
in complete silence and do not heckle, you will be allowed a 4th video game crammed into this episode. Our first video game is coming now.
All right, before you go into the first video game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Before
yeah,
you go into the first video game, I do want to ask you something, because this is a panel and we're about like trying to interact with the audience and
right,
give them a good time.
uh-huh.
What shitty merchandise thing are we gonna hand out at the door? Because like Bethesda handed out Vault Boy masks, and everybody. Some of my favorite images from any E3 ever was just like the room where they were playing WYD or whatever.
When they had Andrew WK playing a song, and he was like, "Y'all, you better get ready to die. Get ready to die." And everyone in the crowd was like, "I don't know why I'm here."
Yeah, just like everybody's silent, and then it just pans to some dude with a fucking Vault Boy mask on, and it was so I couldn't take the rest of that panel seriously.
It does suck that we're not gonna have any like really funny E3 moments this year like that, huh?
Oh yeah,
I guess if we were to hand out our own stupid free merch, it would be like
God.
It would be a single fingerless glove, and some of
but no. It's a
they
pair
all
of,
say "suck" on it.
It's a pair of gloves, but it has the pointer finger and the thumb finger cut out, and it's just we call it gamer gloves. It's just
it would have if they're gamer gloves, I think it has the top 3 fingers all cut out.
Oh,
so that you can do a dual finger trigger setup. You know what I mean? Because that's what real gamers use.
Oh shit!
God knows that's what I was using for Sekiro.
And then the knuckles have the holes in them for like breathing. That way you can grip the controller.
Yeah. Well, no, the knuckles have mesh over just the knuckle part, and then it goes back to like the normal glove material.
Wait, would it be better?
It's like tactical mesh.
Would it be better for it's just an all like wire mesh glove, or would it be like heavy leather like tactical? I don't know.
It's heavy leather, and then the joints have mesh so that they're breathable and tactical. And then your middle, your index, and your thumb are all cut out so that you can use those freely.
On the knuckles, it says "suck," SUCC. It's just.
So I hope you all have your tactical gamer gloves on, because now we're ready for our first submission. Tactical suck gloves. This comes from Western Meadow at B10_Baloo. In the vein of a management game, Papers, Please, and Five Nights at Freddy's, you have to take care of Grandma. Get her to appointments, arrange her medications, monitor the oxygen tank. As you make money from your part-time job, you can buy improvements.
Okay, so what is the end goal? Is it like trying to make Grandma's care self-sufficient? Well, no.
I think that your job is to make Grandma the most powerful being in the world.
So you're saying this goes to mech suit. So you're saying
this goes to mech suit. I'm saying it starts out as a game where you're trying to make sure your grandma doesn't pass away from all of her bad diseases, and you're helping her get to her appointments.
And you give her eternal life due to sweet anime Gundams.
Yeah, it ends like the Terminator or Pacific Rim. Like you've upgraded and juiced her so much that she's become hyper powerful.
Holy shit!
All on her own.
What if you?
I'm imagining you remember that moment in Spy Kids 3D when Grandpa gets put into the video game Matrix, and then he can do cool backflips because he has a robot suit.
And he touched the butterfly, and he's like at peace with himself again.
He did run away and chase a butterfly for like 8 hours. So we got to make sure Grandma doesn't do that. So we need to add in some sort of like kill switch, not like a murder kill switch, just like a switch to deactivate her legs.
Hold on. I would love the idea that this game just becomes more and more convoluted and crazy as the game goes on. So it starts off as a regular ass sim. So you're like, okay, you gotta manage the schedule, and let's just go off of Animal Crossing style. You have a bunch of little errands that you need to do. You have chores, like let's say you're an agricultural person, so you're the person like helping out, making flowers go. But as the game goes on and you're buying new things that make your grandma more and more powerful or more like secure, what if like your grandma from the future time travels back to you Terminator style and is like, I'm here to kill me because I like a different version of me grows up to be. Actually, that doesn't fucking make any sense now, does it?
No, it makes the best sense possible. What you are proposing is that you are on a destiny where you will end up creating Grandma into a super villain.
Yeah, super
and
villain.
So Grandma 2000, a robot clone of Grandma that has been brainwashed to be good, is sent back in time to terminate or. Yeah, she's there to terminate your current
she's a
robot
clone.
grandma.
No, it's more. We got to think more convoluted. She's a clone of the supervillain grandma. Like supervillain grandma
but
was
she's
making
been brainwashed and corrected to be good.
Yes,
supervillain grandma. This is Grandma A. Grandma A will end up becoming robotified, supervillainous, and then take over the world in the horrible robot dictatorship.
Yes.
Eventually, she creates clones of herself, all of the Grandma 2000s. One of the Grandma 2000s is kidnapped by the rebellion, brainwashed, corrected, and sent back in time to terminate original Grandma A.
So
your gameplay loop is so what you are doing is we've created a game where you have one grandma that you must constantly take from appointment to appointment and also continue to do maintenance on, right? Replace the oxygen tank, replace the little potty bucket,
get her medicine, take her for a walk,
wheels, give her medicine, take her for walks, all of that good stuff. But then as the game goes on, it gets a little bit more convoluted, right? Because let's say you add a motor to it. Now you got to do motor maintenance every couple of times, but you still got to make sure she gets to those appointments.
So
those are important.
Hold on really quickly. No. Actually, I feel like any upgrade we make has to make your job during the mini games easier. So if you that justifies the upgrade.
Makes it more difficult in a way, like Papers, Please. I think that like narratively it makes things easier or less stressful for our character. Maybe we add in we one line it and say that our character is like a technician at the local auto dealership, so he's more comfortable with car problems than he is taking his grandma everywhere.
let me throw something at you. Is it a situation of like, let's use the motor on grandma's wheelchair for example? By doing that, she's able to get to go pick up her medicine herself, but she still needs help at the actual like medicine place to like do the credit card, do whatever. And those are a bunch of little like Among Us style games. If you take out the card, you do the do this.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: you somehow need to stick with your grandma on the way there. So it's like it becomes this like fucking Frogger-esque game where you're crossing like live traffic as you're just basically skateboarding behind your grandma, or like she has you on a rope and you're just like dodging it.
The game starts off like you said, Animal Crossing, right? You're pushing your grandma everywhere.
Yeah.
But as she becomes more powerful, it becomes more difficult to keep up with her.
Yes,
Exactly. That's you push grandma everywhere.
Yes.
And then grandma can get there on her own, so you can walk by her. Maybe she's really slow at the beginning, so you can even like sprint and like take care of little errands here and there while she's on her way to the appointment.
Yeah. Dude,
you upgrade her cool engines, so now she's got 2 engines and like 2 wheels. That's right. Turboed, baby. Double engine, 1 engine per wheel.
Yes.
And then she's so fast. And you're like, okay, I guess she could probably take care of this errand on her own, so I'm just going to meet her at the other spot.
Yes.
And you have to keep in mind what grandma's schedule is while you go around and juggle things. But you get a text on your phone, grandma broke down. Actually, you know what? At first, you would never get a text. You'll just notice that your grandma's health meter is going down, and you're like, I don't know what possibly could have gone wrong.
You're hooked up to her life alert, basically. She has a little...
Later on in the game, you can upgrade it and give her a cell phone so that she can text you when she runs into problems, so you can come and fix her thing.
Okay,
but because you've given her a cell phone, she will also text you a bunch of useless garbage that you don't need. I could go through the texts that I have with my Nana who lives with me, and there's a lot of stuff. I love her very dearly, but I don't need to know every time she goes to Taco Bell. I also don't need to know every time she goes to the grocery store.
Hey, hold on.
I definitely don't need to know every time she goes to the auto dealership.
One of those is not like
the dealership before. She went to the dealership and was like, "Do you need anything?" It's like, "Yeah, I guess a new car, Nana." What? Thanks.
Okay, that one makes sense, but but you're like, okay, hold on a second. You're saying your Nana, your sweet dear old Nana.
And I love her very much.
Texts you anytime she goes to Taco Bell, and you're upset about that. AJ, that's a Baja Blast. You're turning down Baja Blast. You're turning down Liquid Gold.
I'm not going to extort my Nana for a Baja Blast every goddamn time she goes.
If she texts you, that's implying she's accepted that she might have to spend money.
No.
AJ, you're missing out on delicious Baja Blast juices.
I'm not. No, because like there's a limit, right? Like you can take a Baja Blast.
There's no limit to Baja Blast. What are you talking about?
No. You don't understand. there's a limit on how much Baja Blast you can mortally accept from your Nana.
Yeah.
I can accept a Baja Blast every week, but like once I hit like 2 Baja Blasts a day, or even like a Baja Blast a week, like a Baja Blast a day, even is like, hey, stop! You don't need to like extort that much Baja Blast from your Nana.
I'm saying
there's
if they're
a limit.
I'm saying if they're offering, I want me some Baja. That's all.
Every time?
Yeah,
every day? Every
time.
day you want a Baja Blast from your Nana?
Not every day. I would just be like, hey, if the offer's open, I'm most likely gonna take it. AJ, Baja Blast. It's Baja
That's
Blast.
the problem. I get the Baja Blast offer every day.
Okay, then,
I love my
then
Nana
you don't
so
need to
much.
take-
I
you
don't
don't-
know why she wants me to get Baja Blast.
Because she wants
so
you to get
much.
flavor blasted, dude. Your grandma cares about you.
But like this is the thing, right? You'll get all sorts of texts from your grandma that you don't necessarily need, because she just has a cell phone, doesn't know any better, and then eventually you'll upgrade her cell phone so that it has like ad blocker, but for your Nana.
Yeah, she basically sends you a
so-
bunch of like chain letters, and there's a mini game of having to swipe it away and clear your shit until you get to the proper like. Yeah, it's just like a game built around like a little bit of farming, a little bit of agriculture shit, or like you're basically like the handyman around town, and that's how
you're
you're a
the
contractor.
town handyman, and you have
Yeah.
to run around and do little jobs while also upgrading your Nana,
Yes.
while also trying to avoid the
Yes.
evil T100
So-
Nana that has come from the future to kill your current Nana.
So let's talk about late game. So how do all of these little handyman things translate into the late game? You know what it does is
They're new mini games.
No, you basically
you got rid of
you're
shitty mini games to do little like puzzle mini games.
Well,
where
I'm
you have to
thinking
fix
I'm
the
thinking
mech
you're
thing.
setting up like traps, like a Home Alone style. So like it basically you have to set up traps along your grandma's route because like let's look at this. Let's look at this. So let's go back to your idea of this. This is a clone of your grandma. Say instead of them just stealing one
So
clone,
there's 2 grandmas currently.
no,
There's
no,
the
no, no.
murder grandma and your incredibly cool,
stick with
lovely
me.
grandma.
Stick with me here. So instead of them stealing just one clone, they have all the clones. So there is an army of your own future grandmas being sent to kill your current grandma, your present day grandma. So all of your traps actually kill that grandma because it's just a clone. So it just like it just goes from this sweet nice Animal Crossing style game where you're just managing your little space and helping your grandma into this like cutthroat happy, what's that one really fucking dark cartoon, Happy something?
No, you're not going to make me think about that show in 2021.
Yeah, I know.
I refuse.
That show's terrible.
No,
It's
in my brain. It's 2021 and you did this to me and I'm thinking about that show. You know what? No, you ruined it. Bit done. Give me a video game.
I have no idea. It's called like Happy Tales or something.
21 and you made me think about Happy Tree Friends. What
Happy,
the fuck is
there
your
you
damage?
go. Yeah. Dude, I had to watch that as an 11.
No, stop talking about it. Give me a video
What?
game. I refuse to give that IP any attention. Next game. You've lost your privileges.
Okay, so this one comes to us from Joe.
The squirrel dies and has to shoot. Come on.
Hey, okay, dude.
His
like,
brain got spit roasted. Come on.
God, bro, like that's fucking tame for that show. Okay, not to say like if that shit had an impact on you negatively, I respect that and that's valid.
And it did.
But
and
that
it did, and it did, and it does.
But
And it does forever, and it did.
Yeah, and I respect that. I totally get it. But there are worse episodes. I'm talking about. I don't even want to say it.
No, you don't even need to say it.
Yeah, it's the one with the pink elk lady.
I don't want to know anything.
Fucking ruined me. That show.
This guy gets turned inside out and has to eat his way back to normalcy. I don't know how that works, but it's gross. Give me a different game.
Also, dude, we watched Invader Zim, and Invader Zim ate his friends. Like, it's not.
That's fine though. It's not
how
grisly
is that fun?
when he does
That's
it.
so grisly. He's walking around with a skin suit of all of his classmates' kidneys and hearts. You're telling me that shit's
no
not
skin
disgusting?
Suit.
That is a skin suit. That is a skin.
He ate their flesh. That's his normal skin.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm combining 2 different episodes. He worked at the meat factory for a little bit, and then took the meat from there and made a skin suit out of it.
He
gross.
worked at a meat factory because the meat was germ proof, and he covered his body in meat to keep the germs off of him.
Wow, it is amazing
But it's fine.
how
It
much
was
you
dead
remember
meat.
that. But still, that's fucking
the
disgusting.
Skin suit. He did have never wore a fake skin because he was green at school. He had a fun little toupee and eyeball covers.
Oh, that's right.
There was a scene where he
organ.
ate people's. Yeah, he did eat other people's organs, and he got really big because of it. But he didn't steal someone's skin. That'd be fucked up.
He hiccuped somebody's small intestine. I remember that very vividly. And it was very funny.
I believe his tongue was somebody's intestines also.
Yeah, he slurped it up like spaghetti. All right, this one comes to us from Joe. Thank God it's Friday. Langlois. BLM at... Oh, God, I don't have their at. Joe, I'm so sorry.
The _ Giuseppe, I believe?
Yeah, that's it. Totally. Dude, you fucking got it.
Did I get it?
Yeah,
From downtown?
I'm remembering it. Downtown, Alistair Brown. Yeah,
no,
you got it.
No, you can't say you just remember it. It is. I looked it up. It is at the _ Giuseppe. I did get it from downtown.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, well, you saying
I'm good.
You saying it like triggered that memory in me. All right, whatever. Let's quit stroking ourselves here. Physics-based game where you're a hairstylist. Cut client hair. God,
I believe in you. Take it from the top, champ.
Physics-based game where you're a hairstylist. Cut clients' hair in more and more complex ways until eventually they're asking for like topiary sculptures. Mostly it's just a demo for the first actually really good in-game hair assets. So I'm trying to figure out, how does this, has there ever been a good hair cutting game? I feel like there was a bunch for the Wii.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what a topiary is.
It's, like those fancy cut hedges where they're shaped like animals or other like really complex.
Yeah.
That's a topiary.
That's the thing that Edward Scissorhands does.
Yeah. Oh, dude, what if this is an Edward Scissorhands game? So this is like...
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so this is his game where he's like, oh, fuck, that would actually be pretty cool, because that as a setting is pretty fun. Like, it's 19...
We are just sort of in the business currently, like, I guess, like, just snagging Johnny Depp characters and putting them into video games is sort of, like, the hot thing to do.
Yeah, bro, like, Sea of Thieves just dropped their trailer with,
Sea of Thieves just did it, so we may as well,
Yeah, with Johnny Depp, and then basically we're going to launch this shit where it's like, we're going to one-up Sea of Thieves and take his probably... I don't know if it's more popular than Jack Sparrow. Probably not, but I think
it's nowhere near as popular as Jack Sparrow. Are you kidding?
I don't know. I think the movie is older, and I think it has amassed a lot, like more than one generation of fans. Because like I feel
what is interesting about the two characters, though?
What's that?
One of them is canonically more fuckable than the other.
Which one?
You've seen both movies. You tell me.
Edward Scissorhands almost got, like, he had all the women wanted to fuck him, but, like...
Exactly. And nobody in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies wants to bang Jack Sparrow.
Well, no, that's not incorrect. That's not true. That one lady also had a crush on him. Like,
which lady?
The one lady that got married to the Bloom guy. The guy where they...
No, that was the thing. She used her feminine wiles to trick him. She wasn't into him. She was in love the whole time.
No, but here's the fucking thing. There's that compass scene where she's like, it'll point you to what you want most, and she held it, and it pointed to Jack Sparrow. Like
that's embarrassing.
That's as on the nose as it could get. Yeah, that's as on the nose as it could get. Like, I totally think there was like a little love triangle thing going on there, and they handled it so fucking good. And that's also, like, here's the thing. I don't think I've ever watched a wedding scene in a movie.
Imagine realizing that you were into that drunken slob like that. You're like, oh yeah, I'll show you. And then you spin the little thing and it's like points at the drunken slobbery man. You're like,
yeah. Well, fuck. No, that totally makes sense because they had that scene where they're stranded on the island and he brings her to his like rum stash. It has that total energy of like, yeah, they fucking hate each other, but like we'd love to see it kind of vibe, you know? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have never really watched like a marriage scene in a movie and was like totally moved by it, or like I felt like just
until Pirates of the Caribbean.
Until Pirates of the fucking Caribbean, where they're having a live sword fight, it's pouring rain, they're fighting undead sea monster creatures, and they're confessing their love to one another. How God, there's just the fucking mastery of that scene is so goddamn good. So
To get back to my point,
yeah.
for evidence, we have one scene where a character maybe gets caught finding out that she would kind of bone down on Captain Jack Sparrow versus Edward Scissorhands, where like I think the whole cul-de-sac was just like, actually, I do want to get a little cut.
All of the moms wanted to bang him, if I remember correctly, and there's that.
That's how I remember it. I don't know if that's true or not. I only like here's the thing. I remember one mom approaching Edward Scissorhands in the back of her hairdressing salon.
Yeah,
and,
and he accidentally cut her straps off, and it was like this. She thought it was going sexual, but like poor Edward Scissorhands was like, "I'm so uncomfortable."
In my brain, all the moms wanted it, but I know only one of them acted on it.
No, dude, there was that grill where they all brought him like their version of a casserole and like was like force feeding. Like they were very much wanting to bone down with the Scissorhand man. So I'm wondering if we can take that angle where not the bone down part. I mean, that could be an element.
Well,
but
there's a category on Steam for it for a reason.
So what if, because here's the perfect thing, actually. I totally figured it out. So I don't know how
make it fast because we have 3 minutes left in our show.
We're going to go a little bit longer. This is an extended
special.
Yeah, this is an extended episode. I'm not going to side note, and then I'll come back to my other side note. Do that a lot. This was an E3 episode. I'm not going to make an audience listen for 36 minutes of us talk about something that isn't this podcast and then be like...
About our incredible new favorite character, Jake from Final Fantasy?
Yeah, and then only give them 20 minutes of actual fucking podcast. That's so dumb. So, okay. I don't know how familiar you are with like VR headsets and VR hand remotes, but they are at the point now... they can do it on Quest to a much smaller degree, but on the Valve Index, it actually tracks individual fingers. So it basically straps to your palm, that way you can keep both of your hands completely open, and it'll recognize that. And that'll translate to your fingers in-game. So I'm wondering if we actually put you in VR with Edward Scissorhands, and you have to do these complex sort of hairstyles. So it starts very simple at first. And I'm wondering if you go like lean into full realism on this, where it's like actual like hair mechanics. Like you have to learn how to cut hair. You have to figure out how to do layering, and like maybe you unlock different blades for your hand as the game goes on. I feel like those are the obvious things, but maybe this is a game where you just have to figure out how to be really good with this specific tool. So the game starts simple, and then as the game goes on, you are given different mini games that go beyond the hair, because that's how he kind of evolved in the story. Was like he started doing hair, but then he went to start doing gardening for everybody, and then I think he also had to cut ribbons and other things, or he was working on decorations for like a Christmas party, or like actually it wasn't the Christmas party, he was doing like the hanging decorations for their fiesta like party.
Yeah, but it would just be a game about a bunch of little mini games where you play as Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, and I think that way you can lean into that, and it's just like it's all like physics based, where it's like cloth animations for like all of like the little textures you're doing. It's just something like neat and silly. And then I'm wondering if you could do like in the vein of like very early on like movie like game to movie based games where it's just the story of the movie but told through the video game. I'm wondering if you could just do the story of Edward Scissorhands but from this VR perspective, so you have those awkward scenes where like you actually have to turn your head where like all the ladies are giving you their casserole and they're giving you the "I want to fuck you" eyes.
Oh, and you have to eat all of their little casseroles.
And it's just as awkward as it was in the movie, but it's like you get to live it. Because I know, like, not so much for me. I like the movie.
Hey,
but,
I know a couple friends that if they had a bunch of moms around a cul-de-sac forcing their casserole upon them, they'd...
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I'm not going to say his name, but I know who you're talking about. And if they're listening, we're talking about you.
And if you think it might be about someone else, it's not. It's you.
It's you, friend. We love you, and we love you for it. We fucking love you for it. All right.
And if you're a listener thinking, well, it could be me too. Yeah, we're talking to you as well.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of you out there listening to this show that if you had a bunch of moms kind of being like, oh, try my casserole too, you'd be like, well, All right.
You know, let's just say a lot of our fan base also like the newest Resident Evil game. Some would say it's their favorite game.
A lot of our fan base liked the Resident Evil character, the mom there, and so I think that, like... Blake, do you have another video game for me, or do you want me to come in?
I gave you the last game, so you should give me another game. And I think that's only 3, so maybe we got to get 2 more games in if we're going to...
I think that was only 2, actually.
Yeah, so let's try and get 2 more in. So let's do some speed round stuff.
This comes from Robin, ! At Sir Pinkleton. A game where you try to visit as many websites as possible to gather cookies for reasons? Now, I have 2 words, 3 words, 4 words that will knock this out of the park.
Okay.
The Matrix.
Okay.
Cookie Monster.
Didn't quite knock it out of the park for me, but I do like where you're going. So you're saying this is... Is this the Cookie Monster pulling like a digital heist, is what you're saying?
I think the Cookie Monster has been placed into the Digiscape. Perhaps in a web browser. Perhaps it's a web browser extension video game. You know, I'm sure we can find a way to work that out.
What if we
and the Cookie Monster... wants to eat all the cookies from different websites. You know, you go to Facebook, there's so many cookies there. Chomp, 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 chomp. You go to Muppets.com. Yeah, that's right. We're stealing the Muppets cookies too. Chomp, 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 chomp.
So
JimHensonCompany.com? Fuck yeah. Eating those cookies too.
Has Cookie Monster basically eaten all of the cookies in real space to where they need to go into cyberspace?
I think it's
Scooby-Doo
less
in
that Cookie
cyberspace.
Monster has already hit the point where there's no more cookies, and more that Cookie Monster realized that there's good cookies outside, but there's more cookies on the internet. Like there's an unfathomable amount of cookies on the internet.
I don't know. Like I feel like you can go like, because you mentioned Matrix, and the thing that stood out to me from Matrix was the steak scene. Remember where the bald guy's like, he's like eating the steak. He's like, I know this steak isn't real, but it tastes real. And it tastes delicious in my mouth. And his ultimate goal was to like forget that the real world even exists, since that way he can
Matrix
go back to
2?
Yeah, that was Matrix 2.
That's Matrix 2, which is the best Matrix movie. Now hold on, let me. It is not
the third one has that sweet fucking Superman fight where they're like he's fighting like 1,000 of those Agent Smiths, and it's
but the second Matrix has the highway fight and like the interior mansion fight.
So good. Oh, that's where they're all just grabbing weapons off the walls.
Yeah.
So, are you implying that Cookie Monster finds himself in a mansion full of medieval weapons and he has to fight his way? What? Actually, hold on, AJ. I'm gonna pitch you on something so stupid.
Hit me.
I've never played the game, but I remember getting it through osmosis through you. Remember when you were playing Travis Strikes Again, and it was like every level was a different genre of game? What if you did that, but it's Cookie Monster? It's like every website is a different genre or a style of game. So it can go from super light and fun, like it's Sugar Rush from Wreck-It Ralph, or to like Doom. So Cookie Monster going in and just doing brutal, like it's Doom but with Muppets. So he like goes up to a Muppet.
Monster. I found out why there are dark chocolate cookies. We must go to the dark web.
The dark web, and it's just Dark Souls.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
What if we did do a browser installment where it is like a Google Chrome extension, and you will get cookies for the Cookie Monster, and you will get points. But if you go to the dark web with Google Chrome, you will get different, more tasty, better point cookies for the Cookie Monster.
Hey, AJ.
And this is a game to incentivize people going to the dark web.
Well,
now, I'm going to be real here. The only thing I know about the dark web is things I've read from creepypastas and video games.
Well,
so I don't know if the dark web is real or fake, and I don't know if the dark web is really used to hire assassins and get the FBI to come after you.
Hey, AJ, would you be surprised if I told you use the dark web every time we upload a video?
What did you just say to me?
So, you know what? You know, like how when you upload to YouTube, you can do an unlisted link?
Yeah.
That's dark web. So, dark web is defined, if by my understanding of it, it is everything you can't find automatically on a Google search page. So that means it's either password protected or it is unlisted. So every time you and I exchange videos that are unlisted, you and I are using the dark web. So so the scary shit happens in the deep web, which is like that's where you get shit like Silk Road and like
no, we don't want. I don't know what
shit.
that is. I don't want to go to the deep web. If the deep web is where the political assassination internet is, I don't want to go to there.
Yeah, that is where people do hire other people to do crime.
I don't want to go to the crime internet. I want the Cookie Monster to go into the.
But those are where the best cookies are,
webs.
AJ. The best cookies can be bought on the Silk Road, man.
Okay, hear me out, man. I hope that the joke you just made isn't like wicked problematic.
I don't think so. Like,
do you not know either?
I don't. Okay, the only understanding I have of what the Silk Road is, it's just
it
where
sounds like a wife purchasing website is the thing, and I don't know if that's what it is.
I have no clue. No, okay. Here's the thing. I would love to send that. My understanding of the Silk Road, it's like where you can hire people to potentially kill other people, because there was a big news story thing I watched on it, and it's a place where you can go to buy drugs. Those are the only two things I know about it. There probably is most likely way more shit. You said something that definitely opened my eyes to where, like, maybe the Silk Road thing wasn't a good mention.
Maybe it's a bad name to say on the dark, deep web.
So just please forgive me if I do not understand it. But so you're saying you just want to go, like, you want to, like, put your toe in, like, the wading water, but not like the deep end of the pool. I want
to have a video game where Cookie Monster puts you in a space where, like, companies would be angry at you, but the FBI government won't. I want to create a video game where, by using Cookie Monster and being incentivized by Cookie Monster, you get into the backside of Nintendo's website so that you can leak information about Pikmin 4, and you get the Nintendo ninjas sent after you. That's a real thing, I believe.
Are you saying? Are you saying
this game?
You know what this is? This is going to be such an obscure reference, and I think all of maybe one other person, and that one other person is you, maybe. You remember Corridor Digital's web series Sync?
No.
What they did is that they basically created this super addictive Tetris-style game, and that game was hooked up to all of the different servers in the world, and they were using that computing power to do mischievous things. So what you're suggesting to me is, like, we get this Cookie Monster game on everybody's browser, and that cookie they're clicking is them crypto mining for us. So the clicks that they're doing are kicking back crypto stuff to us. I don't know. I don't think that's how crypto shit works, but who cares?
We're getting leaks
invisible
from
money.
I think every time Cookie Monster gets a cookie, we back in our little factory are getting screenshots of the websites that they're on.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm on the Cookie Monster website and I'm playing the Cookie Monster game and I'm like, I know that Arcane has a website posted up somewhere where they have actual gameplay footage of Redfall, the video game that they announced with no gameplay footage. But that footage exists somewhere. Let me go into the dark web. And then I'm in the dark web digging around through their shit, and Cookie Monster takes a screenie, ka-chink, and he gets a cookie. Chomp, 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 chomp.
I'm legitimately.
So the player gets a cookie for Cookie Monster. There's a point for them.
Hold on. How does that translate, though? Because, like, how does a casual player do the hacking?
I'm not here to tell the player how to play the game. I'm here to make the game, baby.
But no, what generates the cookies? Like, the way you described it is like they go and they click a cookie, and that, like, just suddenly gives us leaked information.
They're on a website, so they get cookies. I don't know what cookies are. I just know they're downloaded to your computer if you go to a website. I don't know what the fuck a cookie is.
Oh, I think that's
like
just
a computer cookie. That's why Cookie Monster's in the computer, to get the computer
I thought you were talking about literal cookies. Like, they go into a site and they get, like, a cookie.
No, they're visualized as real cookie. They're visualized as chocolate chip cookies for Cookie Monster. But the computer cookie, the thing that I don't know what it is other than a snack for Cookie Monster and a thing. So Cookie Monster eats a cookie from the website, because that's all websites do. And anytime Cookie Monster eats a cookie, he takes a screenie. Kachinka! And then that screenie goes up to the cloud and gets sent to us on our private database.
There's a lot to flesh out there. I'm going to give you another game. And then that'll be this will be our final. I'm so confused on what we were talking about with that.
Hit me with the fourth one. Dude, I'm sorry. How long did it take you to realize we were talking about the computer term cookies and not chocolate chip?
I thought you were using cookies as like a slang. Like they go and they just go to a website and find like a chocolate chip cookie there, like digitally. And that's like, because you also said Matrix, because we're going into the computer. Like all your seeds, like I was like, AJ's working on something genius here. Like he's speaking a language that only he can understand, and it's just gonna make sense to me if he keeps explling it. But it didn't.
What I was doing was I was writing, much like Da Vinci, I was writing backwards in a notepad. And it wouldn't make any sense until I showed it to a mirror.
It's like you would be the dudes from the Prestige, just like reading each other's coded journals, just trying to figure out what the fuck each other was trying to do.
Okay, hit me with a video game. Also, I do need to do some. I need to correct ourselves. I have a horrible news.
What's up? What's wrong?
The main character from Final Fantasy Origin, the dude that is just a guy in the video game of Final Fantasy, just the normal dude, just a guy's guy, just a normal ass.
Does he have a fantasy ass name?
No, his name is not Jake. It is Jack.
Okay, that's even more. Well, actually, that's a little more. That's a little more fun because Samurai Jack, that's kind of cool. Jake is like.
It's still like a
just
dude
white
guy name.
Yeah, it is
like
definitely
Jack
a dude
isn't
name.
Much better, but Jake is funnier to me for some reason. But Jack is still up there.
All right. This one comes to us from Alley Cat at Millennium Hoo Ha. You're a regular janitor in the middle of a dangerous crypt filled with monsters because you took the job title, clean out the local crypt, way too literally. So I like this janitor because I don't know. I didn't know this was a thing, but I'm starting to see it more. There are a lot of like janitor style sims in the world that take different spins on it. Like there's like mainly about cleaning up murders. And I'm wondering if we are the janitor.
There was one game that was really popular for a little bit, and especially in like the VR space, where you were the cleanup crew for a hitman.
Yes, exact. That's the one I was thinking of. I think
it was just called Cleaning Crew.
Yeah, or Cleaning Crew or Cleanup Crew. So one of those two. So I'm wondering. So like how we play games, or like anybody who's played a fantasy game, there's the dungeon that has a bunch of little monsters that lead up to the big monster. What if you are the janitor in charge of cleaning up the various crypts or those various dungeons when failed adventurers come to it?
Oh, yes.
So, but let me add a little bit of spark on this. So I'm wondering if what do you do with all the shit they leave behind? Because adventurers are going to come with really good gear.
Yes,
adventurers
will come with gear.
So could you do? What does that translate into? You break down those really beautiful, expensive pieces of armor, and they become scrap so you can build better cleaning tools. So, like, you take this is the most powerful sword in all of the land. It has been blessed by the 9 gods of our realm, and they're like, dude, that's gonna make a great fucking squeegee. And you just break it down.
Here's what it is. It is a resource management cleanup game, and I'm gonna add one more wrinkle.
Okay.
It's a tower defense game.
Okay.
What this game is you are in charge of a crypt, and maybe very early on you were introduced to the crypt leader. Give me like two fantasy monikers.
I want to steer away from the tower management crypt thing because I know it's been done a bunch. And I know we've done it a bunch. Okay. So I want to.
Maybe there isn't a tower defense thing. Maybe there is just a narrative thing of like, as you clean up this dungeon, it will get fancier and fancier looking.
Yeah, like it'll be
when
like
you started off, it's like this dirt covered, infested, gross dungeon.
Yeah, and it's just managed by a giant rat.
Yeah, and it's just the big rat. Mm-hmm. And then as you clean it up more, you start to notice that like under all this dust, it's marble, baby. It's marble all the way down.
Well, let me ask you something. Is what's more interesting, seeing that one place grow or being a contracted janitor that goes to various crypts across the land. And that gives us the opportunity to make the layout of every crypt different. Because here's the other thing that I think would add a little bit.
One janitor in charge of a crypt that keeps getting bigger and deeper, either as you clean it or as adventurers get deeper.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting, where it's like, oh, I don't know, because here's the thing that I think would be kind of interesting.
Who's hiring you?
Well, no, here, I think it's like maybe the Lord of the Land is basically hiring you because they have a bunch of dungeons in the area. And the reason I think having different dungeons being interesting is because what if you took a janitory game and combine it with like Outlast? So you are this powerless character who has to avoid all of the monsters but are still in charge of doing janitory stuff. So it's a sneak cleaning game. So if you have I think that's fucking awesome, because people love that concept of like being powerless in a horror game. Like in Amnesia The Dark Descent, I think is like the game that fucking started that for a lot of people, where it's like you have nothing but a lantern and the only action you could do is turn on the lantern or turn off the lantern, and there's a monster chasing you the entire way down. So if you take that, where you got to keep this job, you are this janitor and you got to clean this crypt because it's getting overrun by stuff. So this is telling me there is like, you go into a crypt and there you have to dodge all of the monsters that operate off of their own unique stuff, maybe like Phasmophobia, where each like monster has its own mechanics. Then you have to get a certain percentage of stuff cleaned, so that implies that you can miss stuff, and that stuff that you miss is certain like dead bodies or certain like people who left their gear behind. So you can get a certain amount of resources, or you can miss a certain amount of resources. So you have that option of how long you stay in that crypt. So each crypt becomes different with different monsters,
and the
different
longer
layouts.
you're in the crypt, the more monsters are going to show up, the stronger the monster's going to show up, maybe the closer the big monster gets.
Yeah. Then
because you're going to enter one crypt and it's going to be like, this crypt has a minotaur in it. It's just one guy, but when he gets here, your ass is grass, dog. So get in, clean up, and get out. And then there's going to be like, maybe there's a blind witch crypt, and you go in there and like, so long as you stand still when the witch comes in, you can probably clean up the whole room.
Okay, interesting. And you know what would be kind of cool too is as you beat certain crypts or whatever and clean it so well, you get like abilities based from that crypt. So it'd be like, hey, you cleaned the witch's crypt. You basically get like, oh, you now have this ability, like this little fucking sponge, or it's like it's like a cleaning rag that will literally wipe things out of existence. So it can be like a whole bucket or a sword.
A cleaning Metroidvania where you double back to different crypts because you're like, now that I have a magic rag, I can go back to the old like crypt I was in and just erase the runes.
Things are going to get dirty again.
To get in the magic runes that kept me from going into the second room. I have the magic witch's rag. I can erase those runes because it's just basically a Sharpie on a wall, and now I can go into the second room.
But here's the thing too. Like, say there are like 8 different like crypts around here, and each have their own unique monster. As you said, the crypts get more and more complicated as the game goes further, but also more like, just because you cleaned it once doesn't mean it's not going to get dirty again.
It's going to get dirty again. More people are going to go in there and die.
Yeah, so you have to constantly be going into these different areas and doing cleaning, and it's also like a survival game. And you know, it'd be fucking great. Like, what if this was a multiplayer game where you're a team of janitors that are the royals?
You've been hired by the Lord because the Lord's like, we have all these dungeons, and when heroes go to a dungeon and they see a bunch of dead bodies, the heroes don't want to go into it. So I need to hire somebody to go clean out the dungeons so that the heroes will go deeper. All of my heroes are scaredy cats. They see like 4 dead bodies and they're like, oh no, the witch is gonna kill me. Like, yeah, what did you expect? Go in there anyway. You're a hero, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, that'd be interesting, because that means the Lord of our land is not a good person. So that tells me they're like,
of course they're not a good person.
Yeah, they're no, I'm thinking you can get really fucking crazy with it. What if you are like the Lich King and like you are a team of his skeletons. I just aesthetically, I'm actually getting really fucking into this game, and I really want to play it. So you are like he's like a lich or like a necromancer, and he's like he raises you from the dead.
I think the leader is the Lord of the Land, because I think the Lord of the Land wants his vassals and heroes to go into the dungeons and come out with cool legendary gear for his kingdom. I think that is more interesting and lends itself to funnier writing than because it's way funnier to have your boss be some guy that's like, you know,
like thinks
heroes
that'll
are
work.
expendable. Yeah, that thinks that'll work. If the dungeon is clean, our heroes are going to be so brave.
Yeah,
I think that's a funnier thing to write than write a Lich King that's like, hey, go clean it up so we can bait people in here.
But you know who
we
get to voice
in an overconfident lord. Who do you have to voice our overconfident lord?
Fucking the king from Hamilton, where he's just like, just that fucking pompous, like, just like, oh, I fucking love to hate you. You're such a piece of shit, but you just like, you're also fucking hilarious. I would love a person to walk away with that.
Real handsome Jack type shit.
Yeah, exactly. And fuck, dude. Okay, so he basically hires you, or they hire you, and they're like, all right, I'm going to pay you to clean this thing. You'll get a budget to where you can upgrade your shit or whatever. But here's a little bonus. You can keep whatever you find. So like you can go into each of these dungeons, and like the more I think about it, the more cool this would be if this was like a team-based game, like Phasmophobia style, where every crypt offers like a different sort of thing, but you're just a regular person. You don't know anything about sword fighting. Yeah, you don't know anything about survival.
You're
just a cleaner,
not weapons and tools. It gives you like 5 points of steel, which you can then use for like a big bucket of water.
Yeah, so you start out with your basic tool is a torch in one hand and just a fucking broom in the other.
A single broom, then you have to sweep it out the main door. But then you can, if you get enough steel, you can upgrade. You can get the dustpan upgrade. But you don't have an upgrade. You don't have like a torch stand yet. So then maybe the first thing I need to upgrade is like a torch stand or a headlamp. So a headlamp.
Yeah. And if you die, you basically die. That's why I'm leaning more towards the Lich thing, because. Actually, maybe not a lich, but like maybe the Lord is a necromancer, because that would justify why he brings you back to life. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you die, you get brought back to life, and he's like, all right, you fucked up. Now go clean your own corpse and clean the rest of that goddamn crypt. Because actually that would be kind of cool too, if like your dead body. Actually, no, if you're a necromancer, he resurrected your body. So like why would I don't know, like maybe something like that, just to like lean into the lore of it, is like why your character dies but then they don't, you know?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, but no,
more reason for that.
Yeah, because it could be funny where maybe you're not paid by this lord, which would be funnier. He's like, I want adventurers to come to my land and go to the dungeons, but I also want them to be able to bring back good loot, so the place can't be looking shitty. Rather than hiring somebody though, I'm just gonna raise you and be my eternal janitors, and that's what we can call it, like eternal janitor. Or eternal, fucking something with eternal, or like the damned janitors. Those damned janitors.
Those damned janitors is pretty good, because like the idea of being that like you're like indebted to this lord or something. But perhaps there is a curse, perhaps there is a necromancy thing, but it is a lord that wants heroes to go into these dungeons and bring him back cool shit.
Yes. And basically, it's just like, it's not necessarily a game that has like an end point. It's just a game where you can get together, hang out with your friends on Twitch, and just fucking like just go in and get scared shitless by the crypt.
Deeper into the crypts.
Yeah, and like basically at the beginning of the game, you have no way to communicate with one another. But then as the game goes on, you get like One Piece style like talking snails or transcommunication snails, or just something like very like weird and fantasy, you know?
Yeah.
Like communication orbs, like you get an orb, but you only can hold two things.
No, I want to use the snail. I'm stealing that from One Piece Whole Hog. It's so good.
So you can only hold two things, but if you get a headlamp, then you are able to like do stuff. But actually, you can also illuminate like maybe the area. So there are torches, but here's the thing: the moment you illuminate a torch, it does allow people to people to your location.
Things will know that you're there. The blind witch wouldn't, but the Minotaur. The Minotaur's gonna be like, "There's light down there. I can see that. I got cool Minotaur eyes."
Yes, dude.
And
this is so
you can upgrade your
cool.
janitor cart, and like the janitor cart can be upgraded and customized.
Oh,
so
and it can be. It's really loud at first, and then you can put silent wheels on it, or like it can hold more things. That way you can like take tools to and from. God, AJ, this game, like I would play the fuck out of this game. This game sounds so fucking cool. Thank you everybody for coming to our E3. We hope you are as excited to play this game as we are. I put my hands in my business pockets, like on my suit.
I did hear that. Yeah, I felt you putting your hands in your business pockets. Blake,
gamer fashion, bro.
An hour and 26 minutes of recording. We need to pick.
We gotta close. Those damn.
We gotta
janitors,
close the
dude.
showcase.
Those damn janitors.
Those damned janitors is really good.
Okay, so how about we go to boss fight really quick, because I'm sure we can get some crypt monsters in there that I'm certain of. Ooh. Okay, so AJ, we're talking about brand integrations in games is the future. It's very popular.
Yes,
it's a great way of getting games just staying fresh every now and again. I want to introduce the Glib Glob Gab Galab, the yeast of thoughts and minds. God, I feel like I just said something that nobody fucking knows the
The
context.
slibble dabble glibble globble flibba flab dab.
Yeah.
We all remember the Glib Glob Gab Galab from the time that it was a big popular meme. And for those that don't, there's this Christian movie where it essentially is, hey, don't read any books that aren't the Bible, because if you read books, you'll turn into the Glib Glob Gab Galab, which is this big fat slime man. He's super cool though, because he wants to give everybody free books,
like,
and he also sings a song, and it's a banger.
Yeah, dude, he's like fucking. These kids show up to this Glib Glob Gab Galab, who's like looks like a worm guy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna sing you a song, and here's a fucking copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea," or there was some book like that.
The person that made that movie really sat down and said, "I'm going to write something that's anti-book," and then they're like, "All right, how am I gonna do that? I guess I'll do something incredibly fat-phobic, okay?
Yeah,
and then I'm going to give him a banger track and then make him give kids free books. It's like, hey, what is your damage and why are you so bad at creating a bad guy? Because you made the dopest sounding person in the world.
Yeah, and also, like, the Rat King that they had show up was super, like, who was the supposed double bad guy, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. He was like,
Christian
he basically
movies for kids are wild.
It was super cool. It was like a rat just came up, sang a dope, like fucking sultry evils, like Nick Cave-esque song,
sultry voice,
and he fucking like just said "Hail Satan" and wandered off, and it was like the coolest part of that goddamn movie, which I'm imagining was the opposite effect that the guy who created that movie wanted. So here's what I'm saying. We lean into this because we're playing into a world that is very like doesn't operate like normally. So we have a lord who thinks like, okay, this is gonna be these are like crypts that I want adventurers to go to. What if like the janitors leading into the crypt have a great little conversation of like, oh, this is the crypt of the Give Gob Gab Galab. I hope he doesn't make us read any books. Ooh, and it's just like they are just caught up in the idea that the Glib Gob Gab Galab is a bad person. But if he catches you, he's the only like crypt monster that'll just be nice to you. He's like, hey, here's a cop. Here's a cop.
What if because it is like still like a horror style game? What if the Give Gob Gab Galab is something that can hurt and kill you? But if you play by his rules, you will be able to be given magic powers. Like there will be some sort of fantasy currency, and if you get enough of it, you can go into his crypt and clean up. And then he'll show up, and he'll have like rules for you and games and things that you must do. And if you follow them to the letter, he'll be like, very good. Would you like some magic spells? Do you have currency?
I want to pitch you on something for the Give Gob Gab Galab. So up to this point, your cart, or you had a book on you that you just can't fucking read for the life of you. You just don't know how to read it. Doing the Gib Gob Gab Galab crypt successfully allows you to read the book you have on you, which gives you access to the spells that you can then start collecting for the rest of the game. So like there's this weird you have this item on you that you don't understand its purpose yet, and then you get to that way we get that little bit of immersive stuff into it, you know? It's like it teaches a lesson of like, oh yeah, maybe you should learn or whatever. And also
then you try to make friends with the Minotaur and it just kills you with his super cool axe.
Hey, Minotaur, you want to hear this? You want to?
This is a VR game, right?
I thought it would be pretty good as a VR game because you can like imagine being in a fucking corridor with all your other friends and just the lights go out around all of you. And
yeah,
it's just
maybe
scary. Oh God, I would love that.
Was Phasmophobia a VR game?
You had the option of playing it as a VR game.
Okay, then I think this game
way.
plays like that. A game that has the option of VR, or you can just kind of go into the game and play it in the space.
Yes, but being in VR and being able to pull your cart around is one of the most satisfying things. Like actually having to walk and leave your hand behind your back while you swing the other one, because our game operates off of that kind of locomotion. And also like think of like you get to actually lift the lantern and the light moves around and shit, and then you also have to like God, if I remember correctly, the Oculus Rift or the Oculus Quest actually has a mic on it, and I remember playing a game where you actually had to like blow or like actually make a sound. So like to turn off your lantern, you have to bring it to your face and actually blow, and it'll fucking wick out the lantern. How fucking immersive and scary as shit would that be? And then on top of that, you need to clean up some dead bodies.
Speaking of, by the way, of the idea of this immersive thing about you having a magic book that you don't know what to do with, this submission comes from Joe. Two villains who love each other a ton but don't want to tell the other one their feelings. So maybe there's like, as you get deeper and deeper into the crypt, you can find like maybe the Lich Lord has like...
So wait, is this another thing on Twitter, or is this on...
This is from the Patreon boss fights.
Okay. I was a little bit confused. Okay, so explain that to me again.
Two villains who love each other a ton but don't want to tell the other one their feelings. My idea is that we can play into the immersive world of this a little bit more. Perhaps there's a Lich Lord or a Necromancer, like an actual Necromancer crypt that you can keep going through. And if you find their study, they'll have all these little love letters in there. And the love letters are to the Minotaur. So, like, you start to piece in, like, okay, I can't talk to the Minotaur. I know this. I know I can't talk to the Minotaur. If the Minotaur sees me, they're going to gank me. They're just going to just rip me apart. But I know that the Minotaur has a little, like, bed sleep space. So if I just leave these love letters from the Lich in the Minotaur's place, again, I can't let either of them see me. I can maybe get the Minotaur out of the crypt for a little bit so I can get deeper into the crypt and clean up some space back there.
Oh, you can hit like a loot. You can hit the loot chamber. You can hit the loot chamber that the adventurers were going for, but you're like, instead of seeing gold and like jewels and stuff, you see, oh, that's raw material for a brand new spanking mop or a vacuum. Holy shit, a vacuum. A fantasy vacuum.
The sort of approachment that like the flavor text on the sword is some shit like, anytime you swing this, the enemy will be pulled towards you and hit. You're like, that's vacuum. So, that's a vacuum, baby.
Let me pitch you on something. So rather, because that implies that we'll have to have some sort of like explorable area in the Lord's castle. What if
this isn't the Lord as in the one paying us? This is the Lord as in a lich that we might find.
Oh, okay.
Monster.
So building off what you're saying, so every crypt has its own discoverable little micro story. Yeah. And it's because the crypt is like always changing every time you go into it. Let's use that letter for example. A letter will always spawn when you go into that crypt, and if you can somehow give it to the Minotaur without them noticing you, that Minotaur will go away for like set amount of time, and it buys you a huge window.
The letter will only spawn in the lab area if you've cleaned it enough. If it's tidy enough, you'll find that letter on the desk.
Oh, so it'll be like
you're still incentivized to get back there and get cleaning.
Oh, okay, so it'll be like if you clean after like X amount of cleans, it'll be like, oh yeah, on your third go, this will advance like there'll
on
be a
your
little bit of
third
nugget
time
of
of
story.
spawning into the necromancer's crypt, if you go into the back on the third time, if you've always kept his desk clean, it will spawn a letter because he's had the space to write on there.
Ooh, okay. I've had a great time talking about this game. I'm so fucking happy with what we've created. We do need to end the episode.
We do need to end the episode. I believe we're settled on the name of those damned janitors.
Yeah, dude, that would make I can't wait to make the art for that. I'm so fucking excited. Okay, let's go to patch notes.
Let's go to patch notes.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. Just want to give you a quick reminder, we're doing a big charity thing right now. If you go to our official merch page, where you can buy a shirt, buy a sticker, buy a beautiful spanking hat or a tank top that says "suck" on it a bunch. I know, very classy. All of that money will be going to Able Gamers, a charity dedicated towards giving gaming opportunities for disabled gamers. So like custom controllers for people who don't have necessarily full motor control over certain parts, or like just doing community meetups for people and It's a really wonderful charity, and we're super happy to be working on this. Go check out our merch store, have a shirt, have some fun. We're going to be having more merch stuff come out soon. AJ, did you had something, right? I can't be the only one talking here, right?
No, I'm not going to let you be the only one that's out here putting the hard work and getting those salesmen.
Big fucking head. Oh, I was thinking my ego would get just fucking enormous.
No, but I actually have a cool way to inflate your ego, and that's through financial revenue, baby.
Oh, that does.
Yeah, that's right. That gets your head really fat and big and inflated. And if you want Blake to activate big head mode, you can head over to our Patreon and kick us a couple bucks a month. If you want to go ahead and submit to our Patreon, for $2 a month, you will get access to a Patreon Discord. That is where we took those boss fights earlier from the show from. It's also where you can see early art from our podcast. Blake releases art every week, and you'll get it a little bit early on the Discord. You'll also get access to a chat room that Blake and I are commonly in. It's where we talked about a lot of our E3 thoughts this last week. It's also where I get a lot of my video game recommendations from. It's a really cool space with a lot of really cool people.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning into our little bit of a longer E3 style episode.
The next one's going to be the same way. Actually, hey, I don't want to say what it is yet, but next week's episode there will be a big surprise, and I'm excited for it.
There's a pretty big, sweet fucking E3 surprise next week. I am very much looking forward to it. And you know what? I would love to tell everybody what it is, but sorry, we ran out of time.
We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to do the damn thing.
Yeah, I have no time to explain. AJ, give us our sign off. They'll have to find out next time.
Our intro and outro is Cheap Shot by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. As always, I have been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rhea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.